So which one should you actually install, CachyOS or Bazzite 44? Because on paper, both sound awesome. CachyOS gives you that fast, Arch-based rolling release experience and performance, Pac-Man, DNS over HTTPS, fingerprint sudo, better hardware detection, and a ton of desktop customization. But there's a catch. Rolling releases move fast, and CachyOS expects you to pay a little more attention to maintenance. It's powerful, but not exactly a console style. Bazzite 44 goes in the other direction. It's a gaming-first Fedora Atomic system built and rollback-friendly updates. You get kernel 6.19, Mesa 26, KDE 6.6, or GNOME 50. Signed ISOs and security improvements out of the box. But Bazzite has its own trade-offs too. The Atomic and layering workflow can feel strange if you're used to traditional Linux. You get less package freedom, and big rebases can still bring early bugs. So the real question is, which distro is better? Do you want a fast, customized Arch distro system, tuned by hand, or do you want a safer console-style gaming PC setup with rollback and fewer driver chores? By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which one fits you, CachyOS for speed, freshness, and control, or Bazzite for gaming convenience, stability, and SteamOS-like experience. Let's get into it. I'm just going to kick off both installers, and we're going to keep them both using Plasma. Okay, I'm going to try to start them about the same time. So here we go, install, and we'll let those run. I just wanted to leave this up so you could see the difference in the installers. This uses the Calamares installer, and then the Bazzite obviously uses the new Fedora installer. The CachyOS did install quicker. So they're both installed. Now I'm going to shut down and we'll get to the first login and check for updates. Okay, and I've made it to first boot. Over on the left, we've got Cachy, and on the right, we've got Bazzite. So I'm just going to close the welcome here, and I'm going to continue the setup on the Bazzite side. Just ask me to pick my language here, my host name, time zone, finish. Asking me to log in. Let's go ahead and do that. It says Steam is opening for the first time. Please wait. Okay. And then what I'll do for Cachy, let's go ahead and open the terminal. And on the Bazzite side, I'm just going to do super and system update. And on the Cachy side, I'll do a sudo pacman syu. Basically just check for updates before we get started. And the way they handle updates is completely different. On the Cachy side, you've got pacman, which is the package manager. And on the Bazzite side, underneath is the uBlue, which is based on Silverblue. And what that does is it will go out and it will pull down a new image completely. It'll rebase itself to that image, and then you'll have to restart to get the update. So we'll let these two systems get updated first. Okay, and they both did finish their updates, so I'm going to give them a reboot, and then I'll meet you on the other side. Okay, let's take a look at system settings. For Cachy, we've got KDE Plasma 6.6.4, KDE Framework 6.25.0, Qt version 6.11.0, kernel version 6.18.20, and that's running on Wayland. For the Bazzite 44, we've got KDE Plasma version 6.6.4, KDE Framework version 6.25.0, Qt version 6.10.3, kernel version 6.19.14, and that's running on Wayland as well. All right, let's do HTOP. Either one have that, looks like. Okay, so we'll do a sudo pacman sy htop. Go ahead and install it on the Cachy side. It uses Arch underneath, so it's just a sudo pacman and then download it to where over here on the Bazzite side, I've got to do rpm ostree install HTOP. And that's going to layer in HTOP to our image. So we'll let that finish and then I'll be back. Okay, and just as a quick test, we'll try to type in HTOP. We saw that it did install, but it's not available to us. We have to restart first, where over here on Cachy, HTOP is immediately ready, right? So I'm going to restart and then we'll test HTOP. All right, we're back from the reboot. Let's go ahead and do HTOP. And we'll let them get settled in for a second. When we start an application, it tends to use more resources than normal. On the cache side, our CPU is between 1, 2, 3%. Our memory usage is 1.7 gigs out of our 6. And we're using about 430K out of our 6 gigs on our swap. On the Bazzite side, CPU 1, 2, 3%. Memory is at 1.45 out of our 6. And 0 on the swap. Okay, we'll take a look at BTOP. Here's our processor, 1, 2, 3%. Shows all of our processes that are running. Shows our swap, about 428K out of our 6 gigs. Memory being used 1.95 out of our 6. On the Bazzite side, the CPU's 1, 2, 3%. There's our processes that are going. And then here's our disks. Not using any of the swap. And the memory that's being used is 1.91 gigs. So the memory usage here is a lot closer when we're looking at BTOP. Okay, let's take a look at the file explorers. On the Bazzite side, just go to Help and About. And on the Cache side, Help and About. And looks like they're both running 2604. So this comparison is really heavy on what desktop environment you're using. These tend to be the same as far as version number. Okay, let's take a look at the themes. I know in the past on the CachyOS side, we've had I believe they called it a Nord theme, but it looks like in this install, I didn't get anything with the KDE version. Over on the Bazzite side, I've got several different Fedora options there. And then this Vapor, I think this looks like the old version of Steam. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like the old version of Steam. So if I bring up like Dolphin, that's pretty neat. Okay, so we'll go with this theme for the rest of the video. Okay, from left to right, let's start down here with Cachy. We've got our application launcher, our system settings, Dolphin, File Explorer, Firefox, and then when you've got your clipboard contents, when you copy something, this will pop up. Your volume, your screen brightness, any kind of optical drive you might have attached, your network, and then the little pop-up drawer. Inside that, you've got your notifications, display config, power management. I can collapse that. You've got your date and your time, and then the peek at the desktop. So let's just open a few windows here. And what this, kind of cascade them. What this peek at the desktop button does is basically hides those windows, minimizes them to the bottom, and then you click it again and they come back. Okay, and on the Bazzite side, same thing. We've got our Super application launcher, Firefox, Steam, Lutris, Console, which is our terminal, Bazaar, which is the App Store, Bazzite Portal, which can help you with the setup of Bazzite, and then Dolphin, the File Explorer. Again, our clipboard content, our volume, screen brightness, network, our drawer that pops out, which has notifications, input method, weather, display configuration, power management, our Wayland config, vaults, disk and devices, and KDE Connect. And then our time and date, and then the peek at the desktop button again. All right, let's see what version of Firefox is installed on each one. So let's go to Help and About. So on the Cachy side, we've got 150. Do Help and About on the Bazzite side, and we're using 150.0.1, so slightly newer, and it is the Flatpak version. And now we'll compare how software gets installed. On the CachyOS side, you pretty much find your package through the Cachy Packages website. So for this example, this is OBS Studio. You type in OBS and you find OBS Studio. And then you bring up a terminal, type in sudo pacman-s, and then the package name. To where on the Bazzite side, I basically searched OBS and went through the Bazaar store, and it found it for me, and I just click on install. Alternatively, we can go grab my Toolbox to install applications. So I'll just scroll down here and do the quick start. There are some prerequisites that you have to grab. I've already done that. It supports Arch, Debian, Fedora, and Silverblue. So I'm just going to bring up the terminal and paste that in. Go ahead and go to Cachy, do the same thing. So select all the software you're wanting to install or remove, and then you can enable, disable Bluetooth. You can do a system update, and it also shows your system information. And when you're ready, just run the selected task, put in your password. All right, let's go check and make sure it did it. Internet, Brave. And now we have the Brave browser installed. Let's do a Fastfetch. On the CachyOS side, we've got Linux kernel 6.18.20, 975 Pacman packages. The shell is bash 5.3.9. The desktop environment is KDE Plasma 6.6.4, running on Wayland. And we're using about 1.86 gigs. The swap is 424. And on the Bazzite side, we're using Linux kernel 6.19.14. We're sitting at 1.72 gigs out of our 6, running KDE Plasma 6.6.4, running on Wayland, and that's bash 5.3.9. A little over 2,700 RPM packages and 28 flat packs. Let's take a look at the wallpapers. So just right click, desktop and wallpaper. And on the CachyOS side, I've got a bare minimum KDE Plasma desktop. And on the Bazzite side, I've got, looks like the default KDE wallpapers as well as some custom Bazzite wallpapers. And it is based on SteamOS, so we've got some of those SteamOS wallpapers as well. I've highlighted the Half-Life 2 wallpaper. There's also a UBlue wallpaper as well. As far as release cycles go, CachyOS follows Arch Linux. They do have their own custom kernels. For the Bazzite side, it follows Fedora, and Fedora 44 just released. So that's why we're on this new Bazzite 44. So which one will you install? Choose Cachy if you want speed, freshness, customization, hands-on control, more of a tinkerer. Choose Bazzite if you're looking for a console-like gaming PC or a handheld setup for safer rollback, fewer driver chores. It's easy recommendation for couch gaming and Steam first setups. If you found this video helpful, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Here are some other videos you might enjoy as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.